Hi, this is Scott from ArborPro. Today we're going to take a look at a new capability in ArborPro Enterprise called Community Viewer. This is a way of sharing some or all of a tree inventory to someone else who may not have access to ArborPro, may not have an account to ArborPro. So let's get started. We're going to go through a couple of scenarios here. The first one, we're going to share all 12 trees here in this inventory. This is Schaefer Business Park in Chino, California. We got a dozen trees here. We're going to go ahead and share that. So we click Community Viewer. We're going to create a link, and this is a link that you'll send off to someone to get access to this. And there are some options here. So in this case, we don't have anything selected, so there is no map selection. We're essentially just going to share the entire inventory. So we're going to call it Schaefer Business Park. Require access code. For right now, I don't want to do that. I just want to have it wide open. So this would be for the public to maybe see some basic information. So perhaps the tree ID, status, common and botanical, just somebody that may want to see what type of tree it is without getting into a lot of the sort of details of condition, if there are any issues, recommended maintenance. So we'll go ahead and do property area, location, site number, and maybe not have any of this sort of creation date or edited date or any of that kind of thing. So we'll go ahead and hit save. And URL is copied to the clipboard. So we are going to open a new tab here. And this that was copied to the clipboard is what we would send off to maybe the property manager and say, okay, if you want to publish the tree inventory to your website, use this link. That link will never change. And this opens up kind of a community version of Enterprise 2.0. From here, what we can do is click on these. So we're going to see basic information. So we see we have a Melaleuca there and property, area, location, site number. So just the fields that we chose, DBH, height, ranges, and so forth. So this would be a way for citizens or other interested parties to get to the tree inventory and be able to just see what type of trees these all are. So another scenario might be, well, if we look at this one, we can kind of see that alder tree is in trouble. So maybe we want to get into a little more information and send that off to the property manager or the owner of the property and say, look, these are some recommendations we have. And maybe that information really shouldn't be public because this could potentially be a hazard tree, especially with a busy public right-of-way here. So there might be some information that's a little more sensitive. So in that case, what we want to do is, and if we really don't care about the entire inventory, maybe we just care about these alders that are along Schaefer and along Benson. So what we'll do now is just share those selected trees, and there's a purple leaf plum there that's also kind of in a bad spot. So we'll go ahead and select by polygon just the ones that are along the public right-of-way here that are kind of in trouble. And I think we'll leave out the purple leaf plum. That's not really a big problem. But these are the alders that are along here that are all potentially in some trouble, in a little bit of distress. So I'll go ahead and select those. And then we're going to go back into Community Viewer. And in Community Viewer, we're going to create link. And this time we're going to say, okay, map selection. It defaults to the selection. So it knows there's a selection in here. It's going to default to that. And this is a little more sensitive information. So we're going to require an access code. And we're just going to say alder. And for this, we want to actually include more information. So we want to include the condition and recommended maintenance. So we're going to select all, and then we'll save. Okay, URL copied to clipboard. Now, if I forgot that it was copied to the clipboard and I exit out of this, I can always go back to the community viewer area and see all the different shared maps that I've shared. So if I got to a point where I said, gosh, I really don't want this up anymore, I can always delete it. The other option here is we can copy the link. So we can copy this. And now this is just the alder trees. These are the ones that are kind of in trouble, and we have more of the information shared. So we don't want the public to be able to just see this. So we post this URL or we send this URL, and we actually have to, whoever opens this needs to enter that access code. So it doesn't require a username and password, doesn't require that that user has an ArborPro account, but it is a way of securing data and at least giving it an access code where they have to type in essentially like a password to get to it. So we'll go ahead and hit submit. And again, this might be the one that is sent over to the property manager to say, hey, look, we got some problems out here with these alders that are on the public right of way. And we'll go ahead and click that. So now what we can see, if we zoom down or we scroll down here a little bit, we can see all the information. So not just species, you know, not just the gee whiz fields, right? The size and the species. Now we get into recommended maintenance. So this is a priority 1 removal. This is a problem. It's in poor condition. It's got a lot of defensive dieback going on. So we really want to make sure that that gets addressed quickly. And we've sent that over to the property manager in a secure way that isn't just shared out to the world. So we got another priority 1 removal there. So that's how we do it. That's a couple different ways of sending out community view shares out to anyone so they can get to the inventory.